Welcome to Speedy Walkthroughs, where we show just the important stuff to beating the game. For first time viewers, this will look different to a normal walkthrough. It'll show just the essentials, so you don't need to spend a long time watching this video. Today we're playing Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, and we'll be getting 100% of all the collectibles in this game. Before we get started, if you end up finding this video useful, please consider subscribing to keep up to date, as it helps out the channel a whole bunch. Alrighty, so when you start out the game, your uncle's going to go and you want to get the thing that's in the treasure chest. That is a lamp that will help you light up dark rooms. And we're going to head right, jump off this cliff, go up, and you want to go all the way up to the castle. In the castle, you can't go in the front door, so we're going to head right and then up again. There's a little bush that we can get through to go through a secret path. You just want to hit A on the controller to pick up those bushes. I think you need to hold the button for a little bit as well to make it work. You get the sword from your uncle, and pretty much what you can do with the sword is just slash forward, but really useful is a charge attack where you hold the slash button and then Link sort of slashes in a circle. That charge attack is easy to forget about, but very useful to use if you remember it. You might have noticed a lantern in the previous room. You can light up any of those lanterns with the lamp. That should be on your, I think it's a Y button, and you can select different items to have on that button there, and it's just up the top left. So we're just going to head into here. We're just going to go up behind that main room and down these stairs. We can open what's in this chest. That's the map. So in all dungeons you'll get a map. If you're following this walkthrough, you probably won't need the map, but I will show where to get those just in case you want to be super duper 100% and even get the map as well. Alright, so continue this. What you can probably see there is throwing pots at enemies is a really convenient, quick way to kill them. Also, that charge slash there does a similar thing. I like to sort of have a charge slash charged up wherever I can, really. Here we get the boomerang, and I'd probably recommend having this on your Y button if possible. So the boomerang's really good. Basically, yeah, it stuns enemies if you throw it at them, and you can throw it in all sorts of different directions. So yeah, be using that boomerang where you can. Those pots will have hearts underneath them if you want, and killing this enemy here is really easy to do if you just throw pots at it a couple times. Actually fighting it is quite difficult. So Zelda will be very happy that you've saved her, and she'll start following you back out. So he's going to head back up these stairs and back through the way we came. Alright, back out this couple of rooms. Now you can take a little shortcut back just by heading up on this section here, and that saves you walking back through all these guys and the floor that you can fall through. Jump off the ledge there and we're heading back out. Now we're sort of back in that main area of the castle, so you could go back through the left, but I'm going to go through the right here just to mix it up. And we're going to go through this door, and we should be back in that main area now. So Zelda's telling us to go to the throne room, which is what we're going to do. We'll just jump up through those stairs. And here you sort of have to push this thing. You have to push it for quite a while before it'll actually move there. And we'll head through. Next up we get into this dark room, so keep your eye out for any lanterns that you might need to light. You can just head right and up those stairs there, it's not too tricky. Kill these snakes here. And we get head up through that room. Alright, so we get a little key from that box there, which we can use to head up. And with the sewers, you basically just want to head to the left here to get through. And you want to head up here to get through. So you can see you can light up the room, but more often than not you don't need to. In this room you want to kill all the mice because one of them has a key. This might be one that you want to light up if you're playing. That block you want to push up. With those block puzzles in Link to the Past, you can only push the blocks once, so just keep that in mind as you're doing the puzzles. Here the right switch is the one to pull to open the door. If you pull the left one, you'll get barraged by a bunch of enemies. That chest there has a heart piece in it as well, so it's worth grabbing that chest when we actually get the opportunity to. Alright, so grab that chest before you go away, and then once the dude's finished talking, you can head out. So now we're into the main map, and the game completely opens up to us. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to head up left here. Got a few goodies to get before the first dungeon. Alright, so if you see those two guys chopping the tree, you'll know you're on the right track. We're heading into the Lost Woods. So we're just going to head down here and fall down this hole. That gets us a piece of heart. So with the piece of hearts, basically each one is a quarter of a heart. So once you get 4 heart pieces, you get another heart total on top of your maximum health. That mushroom is the other thing we need to grab here. There's this lady who makes potions, and she wants the mushroom a little bit later on, so that's why we're grabbing it now. You just want to head down and right, and then potentially down out of this forest. This brings us to Kakariko village pretty much, so we'll just head down into there. Now, first thing we're going to do is fall into this hole here. That has a couple good chests for us to get, and also bombs. I'm immediately going to put bombs on that button there and bomb the wall. You might have been able to see, but there was a little crack in the wall. You can bomb through that to get goodies. A piece of heart is behind there, very worth getting. Head back out. Alrighty, so we're going to head out and into this room now. And we got this little block puzzle here. If you push the blocks exactly how I'm pushing them, you should hopefully be able to get all the chests in one hit. Up and left, yeah, that last chest. You can see that we're getting a lot of rupees here. We're basically just farming those because there's some stuff to buy later. There's a piece of heart behind this wall here. Then we're going to go back up. Alright, heading out here. Now we'll talk to this dude. And he's going to charge you 100 rupees for an empty bottle. The empty bottles are extremely useful. Probably the best thing to do is to put a fairy in the empty bottle. And what the fairy in the bottle will do is if you die, it'll automatically bring you back to life. Or you can use the bottle if you want to regain health. So yeah, that's something I'd really recommend, getting a fairy. To get the fairy in the bottle, we do need the bug catching net, but we're going to get that soon as well. There's that dude that you can chase, but we won't be able to get that dude quite yet. And there's another empty bottle in that container there, so now we have 2. And you want lots of empty bottles. They're very, very useful. Alright, so that dude gives us a bug catching net now. You can pull the Mario poster. Not that particular one there, but some Mario posters you can actually pull and then a whole bunch of rupees will come out. So just be aware of that. Now that we've done this, we're going to head to the left. And into this little building here. Bomb his left wall. And we're going to head down and out. That brings us to this little obstacle course kind of thing. If you take the same path that I'm doing and try and optimize your movement, you should make it through. So just going to head down and talk to this dude. We got 14 seconds, so we actually do get the heart now. You're going to jump down and head to the right. Alright, now that we've done that bit, we're going to head back up through to Kakariko Village. And just continue on up past it. We've done everything we can do in here for now. A little note about the progression that I'm using for this walkthrough. It should get a lot of the upgrades as soon as you can get them. So it'll also make it a little bit easier to play through the game. If you were going to go purely for speed, you'd probably bundle a lot of the upgrades together, but then that's going to make the dungeons a lot harder for you to get through because you'll be on less health and stuff. So we're going to go up and use that magic, like, super duper mushroom that we got before. And we give it to her, and she'll start brewing a potion. Basically, all you need to do is go through here and go into the house after you talk to her. And then the potions will be ready. You have to leave the screen and come back to refresh it. So yeah, the red potion restores health, the green potion restores magic, and the blue potion restores both. And you can put potions in an empty bottle. I'm not going to bother putting any potions in there for now. Mainly just because, like, with the fairies, they're a bit more useful to have in the bottle, just in case you die and you need to come back to life. Alright, so we're heading up here, and this is sort of the area where the first dungeon is in the game. Alright, head up these stairs. And we're going to go on through. First dungeon. So you can pick up the pot and step on that switch there, step on this other switch to open the door. You got rolling boulders, so we're just going to ignore those, try and avoid them if you can. Head up these stairs and go to the right. Get 100 rupees there, very useful. You'll need a lot of rupees in this game, so it's good to farm them when you can. Although if you get all the secrets that I'm going to get in this video, you won't actually need to sit and kill enemies too much for rupees. Alright, boomerangs can be quite effective in this dungeon, so that's what we're going to use. But with these skeletons, throwing pots or boomerangs at them will be very good. Boomerangs will tend to stun enemies, so after you've stunned them, it's good to sword them. You get the compass, that will show you where all the treasures and stuff are in the dungeon, like where the boss is. Head right through this main big room, and underneath the floor here, we're going to head up. Alrighty, we're going to go right through that door. And head back out. Alright, so you probably saw there I swung a bug net at the fairy, and that actually caught it in the bottle that we have. So yeah, make sure you're doing that whenever you see a fairy. That room that had anti-fairies, you can actually sprinkle magic powder on those anti-fairies to turn them into normal fairies. These things in this room are an example of anti-fairies. So that's how I was able to get a fairy in that room. And the magic powder we would have got from trading in that mushroom to the potion lady. Alrighty, so we're going to open this chest, we get the bow. And you can see we already have some arrows there, 15 arrows to use. Now, these enemies you're supposed to kill just by shooting a bow into their eye when their eye opens, but you can also throw a pot at them when their eye opens. I figure I'd save the arrows for the boss fight. Here though, we're actually going to use the bow here. You can see sort of the strategy is there. Wait till they face you and then fire the bow at them. There, the top left switch opens the door. And here we want to fire the bow at that dude to open up the door. There's lots of bow up, more arrows there if you need them. And we have the Armos fight here. So with these ones, you really just want to be arrowing them as quick as you can. And we get a heart piece, and that's the first dungeon done. Alright, the game says you want to go and see this dude called Sasha Harrow, or however you pronounce it. Basically, he's just in this house to the left. He's going to give you the dash boots, which are very, very useful. And there we go. So you press the A button to do a dash attack there. And for example, you can dash through that wall. With those walls that have cracks in them, sometimes they're bombable, sometimes they're dashable. Probably best to try dashing first, so that way you don't waste your bombs. But you'll also see what I do on the walls in this walkthrough. Alright, we're heading up here out of the dungeon. We're going to head left over this bridge. You continue left past this bit. And we're going back up towards the forest there. But basically all you need to do is dash that bit, go through, get a lovely heart piece. Alrighty, so we're back in Kakariko Village here. And we're going to go up to this shop. And dash that book off the ledge there. Then we can head to the right through this bit. And we can go into this little bit here. So there we get bombs in a chest, very useful. But if you hit these in a different way, basically what you can do is go through here and pull this right switch. That will open the water up. And conveniently with that, it spawns a heart piece right outside the dungeon there. I'm assuming because the water level's like raised, it implies that the heart piece has come up from the ground or something. I don't know, but it puts a heart piece there. Bomb this wall here, go through. Now you can actually get to these other ones just by walking along the bottom edge of that wall. It doesn't look like you can walk past those holes, but you actually can, which is really cool. Go talk to this dude. He gives you 300 rupees, which is very good. One of the big things you'll use rupees in this game for is upping your maximum arrow and bomb counts. So you'll need heaps and heaps of rupees to do those to the maximum. You probably don't need them to the maximum, but I'll be getting them in this just because it's 100%. Bomb that wall there. And head up through. Alrighty, so you can open that chest there, which if you didn't bomb this wall, you would like see it from the other side, and it would be really cheeky. The other door there just is sort of the decoy. If you don't know about the bombable wall, you see the item, but you can't get the item, so don't worry about that other door. Alrighty, up into this cave here. And this cave has a little bomb wall down the bottom there. And inside that we get a lovely piece of heart. And we'll just head back out the cave now. Alright, so that thing there, we need the book to sort of read it properly. That book we got just south of Kakariko Village, and we dashed into the bookshelf to knock it off. That'll actually open up the dungeon properly for us. So now we're into the second dungeon here. Alright, first thing you want to do is go up and left here. Try and avoid these little sand pits if you can. Now we can bonk the key off. Very good. Alright, open this door to the right here. There's a little compass in that bit. And we can kill all the enemies here. Be aware of that rotating statue. It will fire a laser at you when it rotates towards you. So just be conscious of the way that it's facing as you do the room. There we go, we got the boss key. And we're going to head left. Going to go down into this door here now. And you want to step on that switch to the left there. And we got the power glove. So that basically lets us pick up heavier objects. And we're just going to head out of this dungeon here. There's a little heart piece down the bottom there. And then we can go into this main section here. Push that block to the right to get through. Then we get the key. That room would have had the floor tiles coming at you and trying to hurt you, so try and do it quickly. In some later dungeons, we'll have to actually see the floor tiles play out in full, because they won't open the door until they're finished. Head back up through this room, use your key. You can see the boss door there. There's a key up. Alright, if you light all 4 of these lanterns, the wall actually moves. So make sure you got enough magic to do that. If you don't, you can probably farm magic from the pots or something. And we're into the boss room. So arrows can be quite good for this boss as well as sorting them if they come close to you. Good thing about arrows is they give you a bit of distance, but then you're also using up your arrows, so it is that bit of a trade-off there. The last one will go really fast, so if it's possible that you kill 2 at the same time at the end, it's very good to do. Alright, with that dungeon done, we're going to head out into the right. We're basically going to head up through this section here. One thing that I'll note, if you ever get yourself into a spot of the map you don't want to be in, you can save and quit to walk back to Link's house. I'm not doing that in this run so as to have it as, I guess, a single playthrough. But if you want to use that, you can get around the game a little bit quicker doing that kind of thing. Pull up that now that we got the super duper Titan glove thing, and then break those rocks. Gonna head up through this bit. And we're sort of on our way to get the Zora flippers. You will have to pay, I think it's 300 rupees for these, so just be aware that you got enough rupees coming into this section. There it is. 500 rupees, my bad. Yeah, so it's quite a lot to pay for, and this is why we've been grinding rupees up till now. Alright, there should be a little heart piece over here that you can get. And then head down the waterfall. That item we just purchased does allow you to swim in deep water, so it's going to be very, very useful for us. Behind this waterfall's the secret, so just head through. Now you can throw items into the pond, and they'll usually upgrade the item in question. So the first thing we'll throw in is a boomerang. And you say, yes, you did drop it, and she's thrilled at your honesty, so she gives you the good boomerang back. You leave and come back in, we can throw in some more. So next thing to throw in here is the shield. And she'll upgrade that. That's pretty much all we can do at the moment. Alright, you want to head through this little whirlpool here and it'll bring you back out to the main map. This section is sort of, I guess, down and left from that first dungeon there. In this little pond you want to throw 20 rupees at a time. And you sort of just have to wait for it to refresh. It's a little bit frustrating that you can't throw in more at once. Alright, so once you've thrown enough rupees in, that fairy will spawn and you can choose to up your bombs or your arrows. I tend to do bombs at first, but then I sort of like alternate between bombs and arrows where I can. If you're 100%ing, technically you do want to max out both of these stats, but I won't show the whole process. Basically, just whenever you visit her, keep topping up your bombs and arrows. If you bomb the wall to the right of that fairy, there is like a little fairy fountain that you can access, so just be aware of that. It's good for stocking up your bottles with fairies if you need to. Alright, going to swim up and left now. And we end up going onto this bridge. See this dude sort of camping here, and if you talk to him, you get a bottle. Let's head back out now. And we're just going to head up this bridge here. Alright, we can finally lift these little boulders in front of this gravestone, so just push that up and head down. This room might potentially look familiar. It's actually the sanctuary where we were escaping from the castle at the start of the game. Now we can actually bomb this wall, and it's got lots of goodies in these chests here, so very worth grabbing. Push these blocks up, and then progress through as we did at the sanctuary at the start of the game, pulling the right switch here to get through. And then we just pop out there. Alright, now we're going to head through this little cave here, and this is taking us towards the third dungeon. This dude will follow you for a little bit, but basically just progress through as rightmost as you can, and then follow his directions as you get through the cave. Head down here. It's actually a pretty short cave. Alright, so this is his house here. And it gives you the mirror. Alright, so I'm going to head to the right now. And then up these very big steps. And continue on to the right after that. We're about to see our first glimpse of something called the Dark World, just after this cave here. Yeah, alright, so just head up through. And you get a little heart piece here to grab. You can fall down that hole, and that brings you here. In which case you can stock up on fairies if you'd like to. I'd recommend having all of your bottles full of something. Because if you need an empty one, you can just, like, use the fairy or whatever. Alright, up through this ladder, and we're going to head to the right again. Cool. So this is the Dark World that we're going into that I was talking about before. You're stuck as a rabbit for now, but eventually we'll get an item that stops us from being a rabbit in the Dark World. And you can use the mirror to return back to the Light World. So after this dungeon, we're going to go through a whole sequence of events that lets us travel between the Dark World and the Light World freely. So this dungeon is sort of the last of the Light World dungeons, and then there's several more Dark World dungeons. I remember playing this game for the first time and thought that this was the last dungeon and that I'd beaten the game, but not quite. Alright, so we're going to put those blocks down. And you do have to wait for the floor tiles here. Just make sure you're noting the orientation of my colored blocks, so the blue ones are down and the red ones are up. Make sure yours are looking like that as well at the moment. Alright, here we use the lantern to light up these. Get the big key. We can put the red blocks up again. And now put the blue blocks up. Head back through. Alright, we're going to put the red blocks up with the boomerang, but then head through this door. Or I guess you could hit the switch in here if you want to. Then we're going to head back up through that. And you can see with the blue blocks down, we can actually progress through this dungeon pretty easily. And fun fact, those little enemies who are fighting there are actually little versions of the boss for this dungeon. Fill down this top hole here and you'll get to the big chest. And that's a moon pearl. Now, we turned into a rabbit in the Dark World before. So now that we have that, if we go into the Dark World, we'll still just be Link. That item is pretty much essential for beating the game. Alright, so now we come to the boss here. This is probably the most frustrating boss in this game. And the reason is because he can knock you off, and if he knocks you off the platform, you do reset the whole boss fight. The best strategy that I've found is just to keep dashing into that tail, but try not to dash when you're close to a ledge, otherwise you'll most likely fall off anyway. Alright, Dungeon 3 is done, so now we're going to head off Death Mountain. Just dash to the left here, down this ladder. Then we're going to go up through the cave. Alright, we're going to head up into the Lost Woods here. So the next key item that we have to do in the game is grab the Master Sword, which is in the Lost Woods. And there's lots of like fake decoy Master Swords lying around, but the real one's sort of in the top left corner of Lost Woods. So follow this path that I'm taking, you should get there. You can head up through. I really, really love this part of the game with the animals and like all the pendants, and it's so well done. Anyway, you grab the Master Sword and eventually you get contacted that there's something bad going down at the castle. Not in this cutscene, but you eventually do. Alright, so just head out of the forest, and sort of our next destination will be Hyrule Castle. There we go. Now, the cool thing about the Master Sword is that if you're on full health, you get this extra attack coming out of it. So you almost get like a projectile for free if you're on full health. So try and stay on full health where you can if possible. Alright, we're just going to head up to this cave here. Yeah, I'm actually going back into the Dark World now. You'll notice we're Link rather than the rabbit. And we can read this thing now. So now that we got the Master Sword, we can sort of access this magic. Probably at this point, I'd recommend saving and quitting and then like warping back to the Sanctuary or something. But I will show you how to get back there if you're playing it in a single sitting. Alrighty, so we head into the Sanctuary here. And then he tells us to go to the castle itself, so that's where we're going to head now. To get to the castle, just head right and then down. Cross the bridge. And then head into the left. This is Link's house, so he started the game, so he's going to head up to the castle here. And the doors are fully open now, so we can head straight in. Alright, so this castle is essentially a dungeon to end the Light World portion of the game, so follow the same path I'm following through here. And then you can slash this with the Master Sword to get through. This is sort of why we needed the Master Sword to get through there. Kill these enemies. They let you through. This dungeon is quite linear. Basically, in each room, you just want to kill all the enemies to get through. Head to the left out of this one. You get a key from that. Then we're going to head through the key door. Here you can just head straight up. You don't need to kill the enemies here. Same thing here. Push that block to open the door. Here, that particular enemy has a key, so you just get the key. Don't worry about the other ones. Same thing here, just kill the enemies. It's a very simple dungeon, this one, although it's pretty tricky at this point in the game. Alright, up through that bit. I'll push the statue out. Alright, so this sort of brings us to the boss fight here. So this is Agnim. So Zelda's gonna disappear or whatever. And then you go to chase him back. He mysteriously goes behind the curtain, and you can totally just go through the curtain yourself to get him. So you just slash that curtain there. There he is. So pretty much he's got two types of projectiles he can fire. He's got that one, which is like a flashing colored ball. And then he's got the other ones, which are like bluer in color. You can only slash it back when it's a flashing colored ball, so just be aware of that. You want to keep your distance and sword the balls back at him. If he goes up the top and does that lightning attack, then avoid it by going up the top as well. Eventually you'll defeat him, and he actually warps you to the Dark World here. So this is a whole new bit of the game to explore now. Alright, so now we're in the Dark World. First thing to do is jump off this ledge here, grab a piece of heart there. Head to the right now. And this is sort of the old potion shop that we were at before with that mushroom, but we can just head up and right past this. We're heading now sort of towards where Zora was in the light world. What we want to do here is throw this skull into the pond and it'll wake up this guy. Yeah, we get the Quake medallion, so more magic. Alright, heading out to the left, we're going to head down through here. And the first dungeon in the Dark World is actually pretty much in the same place as the first dungeon of the Light World. So very convenient to find that. You will need some rupees coming up, so just be aware of that. You're going to head up through these bush paths, and you'll find pretty quickly there's a monkey that ends up following you. There it is. So you give him the rupees that he wants. I think it's 10 there that he wanted. And then he'll want even more to actually open the dungeon. 100. So really you need 110 rupees coming in here. And now we're in the first dungeon. Go left when you come in the door. And you're going to head up through this one. Hit the switch there to get the key, head back up. Then we go up through the center one now. Use that key to open the door, we can head straight through. So basically what you can do is push that block up and fall off. That brings you into this room here. There's a little chest there with a key to grab. And a warp. Warp brings you out here. This is sort of like the right entrance of the dungeon we could have gone through before. Head up past this cracked floor, bomb it, and fall through. That brings you to the top ledge here that we couldn't have accessed before. There's a little key door there to go through. We get this lovely chest, and that has the big key in it. So we're just going to jump off this ledge now. Yeah, and warp up again, head out, and go up the center door this time. Alright, now we're going to push that block right instead of up. Going to grab another key there, dash off, and then head up through the key door. You can see that big chest there to the left. We can't get that quite yet because we don't have a key to get into the room itself. We will be grabbing that soon. This room is fantastic for rupees. Just remember with these anti-fairies, you can throw magic powder on them to turn them into real fairies. That will A, make it easier to get through, and B, you can catch the real fairies in a bottle if you need to. Up through these stairs now. And we've got the key, so we're just going to open that key door there. If you spotted where the big chest was, you want to sort of go exit a door on the bottom right of this room, pretty much. Get a little key there. Bomb that wall. And through. And this is the chest that we would have seen before. That gets a magic hammer, so you can sort of like hit pegs into the ground with that. And if you use a mirror, you walk back to the start of a dungeon, so that's just what I've done there. Alright, here you want to dash off. Careful of these enemies. Pretty much throw your boomerang at that to put the blue switches down. And then here, you want to push the statue onto the switch. The switch won't stay down unless there's something holding it down. That's why we push the statue there. This dude needs arrows to kill, but I think you want to hit them from the side or the back, so they will follow your movements and just make sure they're facing away. So you have to face them to actually throw the arrow, but after throwing the arrow, that's when you want to turn. Arrowing that guy to open up the little wall here. That opens up a staircase for us. Now these little mole things is what you can use the hammer for, as well as these enemies here. The enemies there will flip over if you hit them with the hammer, so that's what we're doing there. And then after they're flipped, you can just sword them. It's really tricky to kill them because, like, when you flip over some, the others will flip back over the right way. So it can be a little bit frustrating. Alright, there we go. Killing all those opens the door for us. We'll push that block down, head through, and up into this central section. Now you want to hammer this guy's mask until it comes off. Takes a little bit. And once his mask is off, you can just sword him to finish off the fight. That's boss done, and that's the dungeon done. Make sure you grab the heart, and then we're on to the second one. Alright, with that first dungeon done, we're just going to head out here. Sort of back through the path you came through. Alright, now that we got the hammer, we can actually access this area underneath here. Jump straight into the lake and swim through. We're going to use a mirror here, and that puts us onto this big island with a heart piece in it. Very, very good stuff. This ice cavern is a dungeon as well. But we're not going to go on that quite yet. We're actually going to go back to this fairy that upgrades your bombs and arrows. I'll skip all this rupee throwing, but pretty much just throw in all the rupees you have for this. Alright, so I've gone down to pretty much 10 rupees left and got a whole bunch more bombs and arrows from that. Alright, go right and head up here. Again, you can sort of peg these things as well. Hammer the pegs, I suppose. Up through there with a bomb. Now we talk to this dude. He gives us 300 rupees. In theory, I guess we could have done that before the fairy thing and spent more money on the fairy, but we'll probably need money later anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. It's a good little way to top up after seeing the fairy, actually, in case we have to do any big spending soon. Alright, you'll see this little assortment of bushes. You want to use the mirror here. You can tell there's lots of stuff about like using the mirror in the light world, in the dark world to get back to the light world in a spot that you couldn't access before. Kind of a cool premise. Alright, you want to dash up through that down arrow. Alright, so this dude gives you a shovel. What you need to do with that shovel is mirror across. And grab that. And then we're going to go back. I can't remember if that item is in a random spot every time or if it's always in that same spot, but just keep digging, you'll eventually find it. I always find this bit really sad. Turns into a tree. Or I guess happy if he wanted to be a tree, I'm not sure. Alright, we're going to head back up into Kakariko Village. And we're actually in the light world this time. So what we can do is we can play the flute ocarina thing in front of the bird here, and it will actually release the bird from the statue. So there's a real bird in there. Now I'm pretty sure what that bird does is actually lets you warp around the game, so that was a very useful thing for us to do. You want to hammer that peg and then jump through here. This thing you want to throw some magic powder in. Now this guy will curse you, but the curse is that you only use half as much magic, which actually means you get more magic. So yeah, it's pretty funny. It's not actually a curse, it's actually pretty good. Anyway, we're going to head out of here. Pack left through Kakariko. And up into the Lost Woods here. Now, you'll notice we use the mirror way back there, and you're probably wondering, how do we actually get into the dark world again? The answer is there's lots of warps here hidden behind, like, usually hammerable stuff. So that warp there, now we're actually back in the dark world. We couldn't really easily get into Kakariko Village without going through the light world to get there, so that's sort of why I went for this. Alright, this did let you open a chest. Pretty much you want to keep playing that game until you get a piece of heart. It can burn through your rupees a lot if you have to keep retrying it. Next we got this, just 300 rupees there. That can probably help you if you run out of money trying that piece of heart game. Next we'll go here, another chest with 300 rupees. We're actually maxed out on rupees now, so if you see it at 999, probably not a bad idea to go and visit the ferry to the right of the map and just start buying bombs and arrows as much as you can, because otherwise every rupee you're collecting now is not really going towards your total. Here you want to go up on this ledge and go back to the light world. That'll bring you into a little cave there. A bomb wall up the top here to get through. And a piece of heart. Alright, heading back out. Then we'll go back to the dark world. Mirror back here, and you'll be inside this bit. We really shouldn't be in here yet because we need another special glove to pick up those dark rocks, but you can use the mirror to get back in here. Get the magic cape, then we're going to head back out. Alright, here we're going to go back to the light world, and we dash into that tree. And we get a lovely fairy fountain there. You can top up your fairies with that if you'd like to. Remember, just use that bug net to get them into your bottles. Now we're actually going to utilize that warping. So we're going to warp to here. This is Link's house. And as I said before, we're actually going to go back and see this fairy because we've got so many rupees here. We need to spend them, otherwise we're just going to keep getting them and hitting that cap. Now I've gone and spent my rupees down to 399. Now I've got 50 bombs and 70 arrows. Can't remember exactly where the cap is, but I'm pretty sure that's close. I think that might actually be the cap. Alright, hit that, warp back into the dark world. Now we're here. Right, we're sort of going to head to the left through here and go into this dude's place. Since we got the shovel, we can actually dig with that. Actually, I think he gives us a shovel for this minigame. You want to keep digging until you find a piece of heart. Try and dig as many holes as you can, and it is just random. There we go, got the piece of heart. And that's the minigame done. You can use your mirror to warp into the light world and then warp up here to Death Mountain. If you didn't grab that magic before with the Master Sword, it's probably a good idea to do that now. But head back off here, go into this door. With that magic cape we got before, you can use it to become invisible and avoid damage. Very useful item. But you can see how much magic it's using to do that as well. It's pretty brutal. Alright, so this is a good point to save and quit here and just sort of warp back to the pyramid thing. Much easier to do that than trying to warp out of that, get out of that cave with no magic and stuff. Alright, we can warp over to Link's house with that bird. Head through here, go to the dark world. Alright, use your magic mirror about here and you're going to end up on top of that cliff. You can talk to this thing. Use the book to read it and we get more magic. That one's a real good one. Alright, use the mirror in front of this, and as I said before, we have this sort of draining thing with that heart piece that we saw before. Unfortunately, that doesn't save, so you do have to do it again, and if you didn't grab the heart piece, you can grab it now. But the reason that we're doing that water thing is to actually set up this dungeon how we need it. So you can see the water's raised in this dungeon. That's only because we went back into the light world and raised it ourselves. We're going to go through this door with a key. Head down through this room. Get another key from there. This dungeon can be pretty confusing to navigate sometimes. Use the hammer to hit these things and then push that switch there. That will fill this room with water. Now that it's filled with water, we're just going to head to the left further. Jump off this. Don't worry about this room yet. Just go left through it. Alright, we're going to go down here. Yet another key. Now we can actually explore this room properly. Just head up and left through the key door. Just be conscious of where that spiky thing is when you hit the switch. It can be very easy to get hit by it accidentally. Now we're going to fill this room with water, so we can head back down here. Make sure the blue blocks are up before you leave. We get that little pot there. Then we're going to push those blocks through and make our way through the door up here. Alright, we want to fall through this hole, and that should bring us over here. You can see the red blocks are down. That's why I said make sure the blue blocks are up before, otherwise you would have had to do this whole section again. Alright, dash off the edge here. Swim back through this room. And we get the hook shot. This is a very useful item. You can hook to any sort of object just across gaps. So if you see a chest or a pot or something, you can hook across to it and cross gaps. So very, very useful. Alright, push that statue onto the switch there to open it up. It actually opens up this door as well, which is the real one we want to go through. Drain the water here. Then you want to head to the left. And we go up through this waterfall, which is like a hidden entrance here. Just up through this bit and then down through this room. You sort of want to grab that key there, but then go for a swim to the left. You can head up through this key door. And straight into the boss room. So you want to hook shot these little orbs towards you, and then once they get there, just slash them. Alright, once you've gotten rid of all the orbs, the boss is going to attack you like this, and then you just sword it until it's gone. And with that, we've beaten the second Dark World dungeon. Alright, with that dungeon done, we're heading out now. Going to head upwards. Keep going up through here. We're going to need the hammer to push these down again. And then we can go for a little hook shot across there. And then head to the left. See, now that we've got the hook shot, it's a lot easier to cross that bridge and sort of get around the map as well. And so what you'll find about Dark World progression, the map is quite frustrating when you first come to it because you have no abilities to navigate the map, but it eventually opens up a lot more. Alright, we're going to head into this cave here. We can hook shot across that gap there. With this thing we can use that magic cloak to get past that bumper. And there's a heart piece for us. Alright, we're just going to head down now. And up into the Lost Woods. Alright, basically you want to go in here. This is like the next dungeon in the game. The dungeon's sort of all through the Lost Woods. You can use that hectic fiery magic to kill all these enemies, and you want to be careful of that hand as well. That hand will come down from the roof and it will bring you back to the start of the dungeon, so really important that doesn't catch you. It's absolutely devastating when it does. Alright, we get the big key there. Use the mirror to warp yourself back to the start of the dungeon, and we're just going to head out of this bit. All we needed there was the big key, really. You want to fall through this middle bit of the flowers. Bomb the left wall here. This dungeon is seriously so confusing if you're not following a guide or something. Pull that switch to blow up the wall there. And we get this chest. Now we got the dungeon item itself, the fire rod. Very good. So that sort of obsoletes the lantern. It also acts as a projectile. Back into that first place we went to. We're going to head to the left now. And just out this front door. This brings us to another area of the map, which is here. And we can actually use the fire rod on this thing to get through. This is pretty much the last section of the dungeon now. You're going to head up through this room, even though it probably doesn't look like you can go up under that floor tile there. Dash down through here and down through that door. Get the key. We'll then need to open the door up there, so we can go back up through the stairs here. And open it up. These stars will flip whatever the pattern on the floor is, so just flip it until you can get through to this door. You want to light all these lanterns in this room. Fire rod's going to help you a whole lot here. In fact, it's pretty much mandatory. Slash that to get through. And you want to kill all the enemies in here. Grab yourself a key, head to the right. And you want to fall down this hole. And there's the boss. Fire Rod deals with the boss very well. Just make sure you have enough magic coming in. There we go. That's the boss done. I'm pretty sure you need to use the Fire Rod on it. So make sure you come in with like full magic here. Alright, with that dungeon done, we're going to head out of the Lost Woods now. Good idea to sort of mirror here and get back to the Light World. The Lost Woods in the Light World is much easier to navigate than the Dark World's Lost Woods. Basically, you want to walk back to the Dark World here, though. You sort of dash through those to get back. And we're back into Kakariko Village, or at least their equivalent in the Dark World. We're going to head straight into the next dungeon here. So, yeah, this is Blight, I think it's called, dungeon. You're going to head up and to the right here. Jump off that bit to get this chest. Got the big key. Yeah, with these later dungeons, they're a lot more confusing. It's like harder to know where to go, but they're actually a little bit quicker because there's a lot of places you don't need to visit in the dungeon. Alright, there we go. Just remember with these anti-fairies, you totally can hit them with magic powder, turn them into normal fairies, and that'll help you deal with them. In fact, you can catch those normal fairies in a bottle, which is very convenient. You want the red blocks up when you come into this room. Hit that switch, dash your way through. Yeah, so basically what you want to do is pick up the bomb and throw it there. You really need to break that hole in the floor. That's absolutely crucial to beating the boss fight in this dungeon. Head back out of this section. Try and get through there. And to the right. Again to the right. And up. Alright, we can pick up that block and head through. And now we got sort of this section here with all the keys. So we pick up this character in a very similar way to what we picked up Zelda before. I'll hammer this and pick up the Titan's mitt. So that Titan thing will help us pick up even heavier bricks. So those very dark grey ones we've been seeing on the overworld, we can now actually pick those up. It'll make it a lot easier to navigate between the light and dark world. You take this person into the room. Now you'll notice that light patch on the floor. That came from when we bombed through the floor on the upper floor. And that turns the boss into the actual boss. So yeah, the person that wanted you to take them outside was sort of tricking you. Alright, so that's the boss beaten and that's the dungeon done. Alrighty, with that dungeon done, we're going to head back out here. Right, make our way down and left here. And we can pick up those dark skull things here and actually access this frog dude. So bring the frog guy up here. You gotta mirror your way back, and you will turn into this dude. And they're very happy that you've returned them. You want to head out and in, and they'll be working on swords and stuff. You'd like them to temper your sword, and what that's going to do is make your sword stronger, essentially. So just leave the map and come back to refresh them, and then the tempering will be done. There we go. Alright, so definitely worth doing that, because your sword is now much stronger. Alright, back to the Dark World here. Gonna hammer all these pegs. There we go, that opens up the little floor there. And we get a piece of heart. Back out, we're going to head up. And here you can grab a chest from this house. Basically with this chest, we just want to go into the light world, flute across. Down here, towards where that water temple was. And you bring it to this guy, he opens it to get your bottle. We then warp around. We're going to head to that bottom left bit here. And go back to the Dark World. So we're going to head into this little bit here. Now get a piece of heart from that. You just mirror your way back to the light world here. You'll end up on top of this little bit. Head into this section. We get a lovely block puzzle. Just push them in the same way I'm pushing them. You should make it. Alright, warp again. Gonna head to that bottom right corner of the map here. And jump into the water. Now here we can actually warp into the Dark World. Now we got that Titan's Mitt, we can pick this up. And we're into the Ice Cavern, which is our next dungeon here. Alright, we're going to head up through this key door now. Little switch there to open this one. And we'll head through. This room's pretty cool, like you can push the blocks in such a way that you can access any room really, if you just come in and out of it. Alright, you want to hit that switch to open the door. Then head back up through. Make sure the blue blocks are down there, lay a bomb, but then put the red blocks down. And then bomb through the floor and fall through. There we go, and kill those. There we go, we can use that magic to kill those very quickly, and all of them need to die to open the door, so it's pretty worth doing it. Alright, we get the bombs, and we can fall down this hole here. There's a big chest there, but we can't quite get to it yet. Get a key from that pot. And we're going to go down the bottom door here. Navigate your way around this treacherous fire bar. Grab a key from a chest there, and then we're going to head up. Alright, you want to hookshot across this gap here and then head down. Just up through that left door. Now we can hookshot across. In theory, we could use that cape as well if we wanted to, but it's probably less useful. Here, refresh the room so you can hookshot across again, or use the cape to get across. And then you want to push down these mole things. Lift that up. And then you spawn a chest over here. Best way to kill these skull enemies is to slash them down and then bomb them. Make sure you grab this chest and we'll head through the right door. Alright, so we get the big key now. We can head back out of this. Alright, basically just want to head down these stairs now. You can bomb this floor here and fall through. This room probably look familiar. This is just that chest that we couldn't get to before. And there we go. Alright, try and hit this switch without getting hurt. I'm going to head through the left door here, fall down the hole. And then fall down there. Now you'll notice here we pushed a brick into that. That brick is crucial for hitting this button, and that gets us to progress through the dungeon. On the SNES version of this game, there is a little skip for it. There's an item that we get in a later dungeon called the Cane of Samaria, and if we get that, we can use it to spawn a block there and skip that whole brick puzzle. But I've shown it there glitchless just because, especially if you're playing like the GBA version or something, that cane trick doesn't work. And also if you want to do it properly, you're using the block puzzle. So there we go, we got our heart, and we got this. Alright, with the ice dungeon done, we're going to make our way out now. Just use your mirror to walk back. This is a good time if you need more bomb or arrow upgrades from that fairy, or fairies from the fairy fountain, go in there. But we're just going to walk back, take this warp, and head down. This dungeon here is where you would have got that Cane of Samaria as well, so if you want to do that ice skip, you can, but I wouldn't really recommend it. Alright, one hook shot across. Try and kill all these guys, the door will eventually open. Right, I'm going to head down now. We got that key. Down through this door. And down through that bottom left one. Got another key and use another key there. Then we're going to head up here. Alright, so you want to light these torches and then head back and light the other torches. You'll notice that I already moved the blocks in the other room, and that makes it a little bit easier to light them. If you want, you can use a fire rod to do this much easier. But the fire rod will use more magic than the lamp, so just be aware there's a little trade-off there. Fall down this hole. We get this chest with a big key in it. Now we've done that, we can walk back up. Alright, so we're going to head out this door here and then continue through the right. Remember, with those anti-fairies, throw magic powder on them if you want. We get that, Cane of Samaria. So yeah, that cane, as I said before, it just lets you place a block wherever you want. And I think you can push the block around as well, so that could be used to skip some of the ice cabin there, but I didn't do it since we did the ice cabin first. Speaking of, that cane can just sit on the block like that there. And we want to bomb the top wall of this room. There we go. Hit that switch and then come back down. There we go. You want to hit the switch again and then head through this door. Hopefully the red block should be down so you can get past and then into the boss room here. Yeah, so this one, as the eyes come towards you, just sword them. Watch out for that lightning attack that the eye does. Probably best not to be right in the middle of the map if you can help it. Once all the eyes are defeated, the big one comes out and then you can just keep sorting that. Alright, eventually it'll get defeated and that's the dungeon completed. Alright, with that dungeon done, we're going to head back out, take the mirror. And then we're going to warp across the map. I'm going to Link's house now. Head down, and there's a little entrance to the Dark World to the left here. You just need to hammer that. One really good thing about navigating this game is sort of learning where all those Dark World entrances are, so you can travel back and forth freely. This is where Link's house was. We want to buy the big bomb from it. So we got that now, and it'll follow us around. Where we're going is sort of that pyramid thing that is at the start of the game. So just navigate your way back up there. Make sure you're holding this bomb the whole way. And it's pretty hectic. This big bomb thing is actually required to beat the game. So yeah, it can be pretty brutal if you don't know exactly what to do. Alright, in here, we throw an item. We want to throw the arrows in. Now this fairy is similar to the other fairy. She actually upgrades our items, and in fact she upgrades our arrows to silver arrows there. So the silver arrows are required to beat the last boss of the game. Just be aware of that. So make sure you're throwing those in. We want to throw the sword in, and she'll upgrade that as well. So our sword is yet even stronger than it was before. Throw an empty bottle in. And she gives us a bottle with medicine. That's only really worth doing if you if you have empty bottles there, but the magic medicine's good to have just in case we run out. Especially like that forest dungeon boss, like that's a tricky one to do without having magic medicine. So we head back to Death Mountain here. I think we're still in the Light World right now, but we're just heading to the right here, which we can access now with a hook shot. There's a little warpy to the Dark World here. Alright, just want to head up here and push that block up. Pull down that. And fall down this one. Get some more rupees and some more bombs, always good. And we're out. So just going to head down this staircase here. That brings us more dungeon stuff. This chest has 50 rupees, pretty worth grabbing if you can. So does that one. So does that one. And just make your way back using that hook shot to get across. That one also has 50 rupees. Very, very good spot to farm for rupees here. Now if you use that magic, you'll sort of see the shape of the floors in there. Or you could just walk across the floor using this guide to show you what the shape looks like. So that fairy heals us up, then we want to just bomb the left wall. And head out. This is a place we can walk back to the Light World from. You just get a little piece of heart there, and then we'll head back. I'm going to jump off there, and it actually lets you get across in the Dark World, which is pretty intense. Alright, lift that up. You want to hit these pegs. I'm pretty sure you have to hit them in that order, although I'm not 100%. Alright, and now we can go into here. This is Turtle Rock. So we're going to head in here, use the cane to make a platform there and make your way across. Use cane again, head right here. And go out this door. Again, using the cane. Now, you want your fire rod here because we actually need to light all these torches. There we go, we've lit them all up. Now we can head through that top bit. This bit's kind of scary here. You can use your magic thing to get past it. It's probably the best way to do it rather than trying to avoid it properly. Grab yourself a key there, use the magic thing to get across again. Then we're going to head back out. Use your cane to make another block here, and we just want to go and head up through this key door. You get a very Mario-like enemy there, up through the key door again. Make sure you're trying to pick up magic upgrades since you're probably a bit low on it at the moment. And push that block to the left, but make sure the red blocks are down and blue blocks are up when you leave this room. This room has lots of like these little chute things that take you all across where the room goes. There we go. Again, these fairies use the magic powder if you want to turn them into real fairies. You know, kill all these enemies here. Just if you want the pickups though. Get the big key from that central section, then we're going to head through more. Alright, you might want to use that magic here. That just helps freeze the enemy so they're a bit easier to kill. And head down and left. So you want to bomb that bottom wall there, just avoiding these lasers where you can. I'm pretty sure your upgraded shield can block those lasers and fire them back, so that's an option for you if you need to. And head up through this bit, get a lovely piece of heart. You can see we're pretty much at full life now. The full version will be 2 rows across like that. Last heart should be from beating this dungeon itself. So yeah, make sure you have this amount of hearts now if you're trying 100% it. Yeah, you can see we picked up the mirror shield there. That's what I was talking about, to reflect the lasers. So that'll be very useful for us. Head up through this key door, making sure the red blocks are down. You're going to hit that switch there. And then just navigate your way around these fire bars. And out. You can just dash through that bit there. Try and collect these, this key here. With the lasers, if you're walking towards them, you're fine because of the mirror shield. But if you're walking away and you don't want to take damage, you want to use that mirror, the coat thing, the magic coat. Alright, once you come out the top bit, you want to make your cane thing there, make a platform, and ride up. You can see the boss room here. Yeah, this thing's pretty hectic. You want to use the ice rod on the fire head and the fire rod on the ice head. Definitely worth having a magic restoring potion for this dungeon. And I think you can interweave it with swords and stuff as well. But there we go. Now it comes into this little mode. You have to hit that sort of middle rock on the snake's body. And then we're done. Alright, with that dungeon done, we're getting kind of close to the end of the game. You're going to head left out of here. You know, so you had the full life there, so just make sure you got that. And yeah, you've got this thing here, which is like Ganon's tower thing. Sort of like the final dungeon of the game. If you got all the crystals from the other dungeon, this thing will open up. So you just head up the stairs there, and then we're going to make a start. You can dash into that to get the key. Just head to the left out of this room. Another key. And you want to push that block down and head through the door there. You can hookshot across. Most of this stuff is here as well. Just heading down through the room as we do. You want to lay a bomb so that those blue blocks go back up when you leave the room. Similarly, you're laying a bomb here to make that happen. You take this warpy here and make your way up. So if you push the block there, it spawns a chest, A, which has a key, but B, which also lets you hookshot across the gap. Very convenient. You're going to take this sequence of warps to get through. And head out. If you light the lantern here, you can see the floor path there. So just take that path itself and then make your way back up. You're going to lay a bomb here and open the chest, then we can fall through the floor there. We get the Armos fight yet again. Now remember, arrows were quite good for this one, and our arrows are now upgraded, so each will only really take 1 to kill. Pretty brutal, they put it on an icy floor as well, actually. So we get the big key for that. More bombs, and more arrows. Alright, we can see the big chest here that we're going to open. The red mail, which will help us take less damage. And up through that little bit here. Alright, now we're going to head into that central door. Alright, pretty much just head down now. And you want to go to the right after killing all those enemies. Alright, there's a little switch there for us to hit. We're just going to head back down through this section. Make sure the red blocks are down when you leave. And there, if you dash and bonk into that, it'll actually bonk you backwards into this bit. It's kind of a cool little physics thing. That room has some fairies and goodies, bits and pieces. So we can just head up through this door now. Alright. Now I deal with all these enemies. And head left. And then we're going to head down out of this section. And again down out of this one. Continuing down even further. Yes, pretty much all these rooms just kill the enemies and continue forward. Alright, we get a rematch of the second boss here, but with silver arrows it's pretty easy to beat. Try and kill all these enemies. And you can see the shape of the floor there. Alright, you want to use that magic to kill these. It's probably the most efficient way to do it. Alright, use your torch to light these. And once we lit all 4, you'll get a little confirmation sound. This door opens. And now I can head up here. Again, use your torch to light all these. Beware of the floor that disappears underneath you. Alright, so you just want to bomb the bottom wall here. Put the blue blocks down and get the key there. Here we got a rematch of the third boss. This one was pretty frustrating when we first fought it, but we're a bit stronger now. It's fun seeing how powerful you get across the game, actually. Pretty nice progression. Alright, just going to head out through this door now. And we're into this room here. So we actually have a rematch with Agnim here. So you sort of fight all the Light World bosses here. There's 3 of them now. Just watch out for those. If the balls look like they're more blue, you can't hit them back. The colourful ones you can hit back. So eventually you'll beat Agnim, and then you get this little sequence of Ganon rising up out of him and flying away as a bat. Ganon sort of flies away to the main bit, like this sort of pyramid bit here. and go from there. So that's the entrance to get to the final boss of the game. At this point you can heal up or do whatever you need to. I've just restored magic there, and then when you're ready, head into the boss. So you want a sword, Ganon for the first phase there, just watch out for his fire things. Alright, then he'll start destroying the floor here. Just be wary of it. Now he'll try and make it go dark. There is a little trick here where if you hit the torch quick enough by lighting it up, you can actually keep the room lit. So keep that in mind. You then want to alternate hitting him with silver arrows and swords. And there we go. Pretty tricky boss fight, but if you've 100% of the game, you'll have a lot of health to play with. It's sort of those two big phases there. Make sure you keep the candles lit, that's the biggest thing. Alright, that's going to be all for this walkthrough. I hope you found it useful helping you get through the game, and thanks so much for watching.